I thought I had lost this tournament numerous times every day, and to come out on top just when it's meant to happen, it's going to happen. And it's just a fish that I found the second day, late into the day, the second day, and really shallow. And I went there the third day. Scroggins was sitting in the area. I don't know if he ever saw it or not. I just turned around and left. I went there second thing this morning. That northeast wind held the water up. The fish was really shallow. And ended up catching that male again. The second time I caught the male, I actually lost it once today. Caught it again, and then she bit, I'm gonna say 5 or 10 minutes later, and had no idea she's that big. You know, it's hard to judge them. I was staying so far off of them, but she's a mule.
Yeah.
Talk about you were trimming some reeds to create casting lanes. I
saw. Oh, in another spot, yeah. I was. There's a bunch of overhanging branches, and I was trimming some branches.
That's kind of slick.
How confident were you going into today?
I felt really good about it. You know, the wind was going to be a huge help for me because I had areas that were protected, and you know, you just had to get them to bite and get them in the boat.
Were you expecting the weight you got then too?
I thought I could catch that. Yeah, I really, you know, I lost some big ones today, guys. I had a 10-pounder.
How many big ones did you lose?
I know I lost a 10-pounder. Lost a big one right there at the very end of the day, one that I saw, but you know, it doesn't matter. I had enough to win. So.
Now, you were down in some of the lower lakes. Were you fishing some of these clear water spring areas?
No, I didn't fish any of those.
Okay. And the wind helped you. Any tidal influence down there?
Oh yeah, the tide, it goes up and down. Those fish get really freaky when the tide's low.
Did you have to wait out a tide to get to a fish? Or?
Well, like that big one, you know, it was not going to be a fish you could have caught yesterday with the, you know, when Scroggins was in there. He said it was super spooky. The ones he saw, you know, just the water's so low. You needed the water to be high. They need to have water over their bags to feel more comfortable to sit up where you can catch it.
What was the biggest factor for you this week sight fishing, Edwin?
Numerous things. You know, that F2, it didn't matter what bait I was throwing as long as it was F2. That young F2, and then, you know, my power poles. You can't do this without power poles and my sunglasses. I was fishing a lot dirtier water than a lot of other people, and I could see those fish.
Did you feel confident after practice that you could win this thing based upon what you saw for 2.5 days?
You know, that day in George, I saw some big ones. I felt confident that I could do pretty good. But you don't ever know when you're going to win one. You know, those things just happen naturally, and you come upon those fish as the tournament progresses, and especially sight fishing. And but no, I had no idea.
Was there any one thing about your sight fishing pattern that was different than what anyone else was doing?
Just fishing unmolested water, dirtier water, and harder to reach areas, and that was amazing.
Were you in that area? How many days of your 4?
The 3 final days.
3 final.
Yeah.
First day you
First
were
day I was in George.
In George on the flats.
Yeah.
Okay. And tell us about how you feel about winning the Bassmaster Classic berth.
Getting a classic berth is huge. I mean, it's just a really important step. It's something that just takes a lot of pressure off. You know, I don't want to quit this year. I want to still do as good as I possibly can in every tournament and win Angler of the Year. You know, that's my biggest goal.
Can you talk about, I'm sorry, Lou, can you talk about your setup real quick for your sight fishing?
I was using a 7.5-foot heavy Pro Qualifier rod, Pro Qualifier reel, 6-4-1, 25-pound fluorocarbon line, 3/8 ounce XPS tungsten weight, just a 5/0 straight shank hook on all those baits. I mean, I was using a F2 woolly bug, an F2 money craw, and a craw pappy. You know, those were my main baits.
All right, you sight fished all your life in Oklahoma. How does Florida differ from what you're used to?
They're harder to catch here. The water's quite a bit clearer, but these are educated fish down here. You know, they get molested for 4 and 5 months. You know, our fish back home, they spawn 2 to 3 weeks and they're done. You know, here they spawn from November to March, sometimes into April. So, you know, they're a lot harder fish to catch.
Is this wind better than the one you had up north?
Yeah.
Why is that?
it's harder to win a sight fishing event. It's very, very hard to win a sight fishing event. A lot of these guys are very, very good at it. I feel like that event at Erie, half the competition was done when the wind was blowing. I was only fishing against half the field, and another third of those guys were done when they had to catch them deeper than 30 or 40 foot. So this is a good weekend.